great support. I've loved every minute of my time here, and I want to stay here. But if they decide otherwise, that's their decision. They're entitled to do that.
This is Drive on Talksport with Sky Sports. Watch all 7 Sky Sports channels anywhere you like on Sky Go, on your compatible mobile tablets or laptop. Let's stick with that. Daniel's a QPR fan. How you feeling about the situation, Daniel?
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone else out there that's any better than him really at the moment that could make much of an impact or a change when they've been said they can't really spend a lot of money in the window. Got Glenn Hoddle there as well, who I think is the only other one I'd like to see take it on full time. But apart from that, I don't see that there's anyone else out there. With the squad we've got isn't, like you say, isn't blessed with pace. Not the greatest squad in the world to compete. So I don't think there's anyone else out there who's going to do a much better job.
So, well, the way it stands at the moment, it isn't looking too healthy. How fearful are you that you're going to go down?
Yeah, I'm pretty worried, to be fair, because at home, like you say, we're pretty good. We pick up a lot of points. We're quite attacking. We seem to do well at home because of Loftus Road the way it is. But we just look shocking every time we go away. It just seems like we can't even barely score, let alone stop any going in the other end.
So is that Harry's responsibility though? Should he carry the can for that?
Well, of course he is. But if you've got some of the centre halves we've got there, I mean, there's a combined age of about 300. So they're not blessed with pace, as you know. And when we're sitting getting battered for 90 minutes, there's only so much they can take. You've got people like Rio Ferdinand, as great as he was. He's not. I don't think he's got 90 minutes in him anymore at all. Richard Dunn again, great in the air, but you get someone like Sanchez running at him. He's in all sorts of bother. So we're struggling on that front.
The problem with that, Daniel, the problem you've got there though is, but Harry signed all 3 of them, didn't he?
Yeah,
so that's the issue. I mean, I'm a massive fan of Harry Redknapp. I love him to bits. You've just seen him there. His humour in the press conference, even under pressure he's under. And I'm sure the players do enjoy working with him, but he's got to take some responsibility for those 3 centre halves, because that, for me, is one of the main problems you've got. The pace at the back is terrible.
But who are QPR going to attract, and who is available for him to buy with our resources?
Well, younger players which are proving it. Which have proven that they can play at that level, play at the level. He signed Colker for the fee he signed him for. Has he actually proved himself at the level? Wherever he's gone, what has he actually done?
No, and he's just been he's a good player, I think, but he's not. He got relegated last year, didn't he? So I'm not sold on him. But who is there out there who he could buy at centre half that is going to want to go to the Rangers in a dogfight? So
well, it's not my job to do that. If I were a scout, I'd be going around looking for it. But it's not my job to find them. If I was employed by the club, that's where I'd be going out and looking everywhere for a centre half. And someone's playing midfield with a bit of pace and creativity about him to fit into that side. He bought to that back again at the weekend. In, out, shaking all about. I mean, Sean Wright Phillips will be coming back next.
Well, that's an interesting one, the Sean Wright Phillips one, because he's identified Sean as a player who's at the club who could have gone out on loan, didn't want to go out on loan because he wants to stay and fight for his place. And in some ways I respect that from the player. Wants to stay and fight for his place, wants to help out the relegation cause. But if the manager's telling him no, you're not going to get a game. But where do you sit on that? As a former sportsman yourself, somebody who's not playing, who's being told I'd rather you went out on loan, but he wants to stay and fight for his place.
I know footballers, I've got friends with footballers who are coming to me kind of and I don't know how long he's got left on his contract, but he isn't going to leave. He is not going to leave until they either pay his contract up, so he does leave, or make him an offer, or another club offers him similar to what he's on, and that ain't going to happen.
But he'd still get his wages paid if he goes and plays for Charlton, which is one of the clubs he could have gone on loan to. I can't really understand the problem here. So for me, there's another element to it, which is the players who are in the first team, QPR, aren't doing it. So why aren't players like Sean Wright Phillips getting a chance? But if Harry really doesn't believe he can make a difference in the relegation fight, then surely Sean will know that and knows he has to go out if he wants to play football, and that's a big if. He surely just doesn't want to be sitting around doing nothing. He wants to play, doesn't he?
Well, surely he wants to play. Do you think the clubs were in for him? He thinks he's bigger than those clubs who are coming for him?
Possibly.
Is he does he still want to be playing in the Premier League? Is he good enough to still be playing in the Premier League? Anybody who's seen him this year in them 78 minutes, somebody come here and tell us. He's played 78 minutes. Has anybody seen enough of him to say he can still play in the Premier League?
Question. David's a QPR fan. How you doing, David?
Oh, not so bad. Firstly, sure, right, Phillips, if you've seen 78 minutes of short ball, actually playing football, I don't think the bloke can trap with back at the men nowadays.
You don't rate it. You don't think he can make any difference in the...
I don't think he's putting the ball over people's eyes to say that he still wants to play football when he says he's going to play football, when he turned down loads of those other clubs and actually said he would still get his wages paid playing football. He should wait for the end of his contract, I think. It's not going to be follow his brother across the water to America for another last payday. He's wasted his career by going to places like Chelsea and then back to Manchester City. That pretty much he will be a bench warmer. And frankly, you know, he's a testament of the bad side, I think, of professional football nowadays.
Perfectly entitled to that opinion, and I think I can understand where you're coming from, not even if I don't necessarily agree with you. In terms of QPR, the reports went earlier this week, if you lose to Man United, Harry's going to go. Do you see it that way as well?
Well, hopefully. I mean, I think Redknapp is, I think he's a contradiction in terms an awful lot of the time. He's a media darling, he gets away with it. The matter is that when you still got to say...
The media said this week, have reported this week, that if he loses to Man United, he's going to go. How is that a media darling?
No, but what I'm saying, it's like Dan said a moment ago, he loves him to bits. You listen to his press conference today, the joking around. The fact of the matter is he spent £58 million for QPR, 30 players in, and if you're still, after 2 years, having to rely on the likes of Clint Hill, Richard Dunn, and Bobby Zamora, as backbones of a Premiership football club, you have not done something right. Your scouting is very, very poor, and frankly, I think he's a positive flush at this time. As far as the replacement, Sherwood, I wouldn't mind seeing Sherwood come there. He will split fans' opinions, I think, but I think he's done some good things at Tottenham. He brought young players. He got added by your firing. He could do that with Terence, possibly. Let's be honest, I believe, Terence, no angel, but Saturday showed what a class player he still is. And, you know, I don't believe for 1 second he's been injured all the time or 3 stone overweight or anything like that. Sure, he's got an attitude problem, but I'm sure he does love the club, and given a chance to play, he would play for the club. And every time I've seen Terence play, the whole of the way seasons go and have been for a number of years, he's never let the club down.
Interesting, David. Thanks for that. Passionate QPR fan with his views and not pro Harry. And I think that those who aren't in favour of Harry Redknapp staying at Queen's Park Rangers, among the Rangers fans I'm talking, they can point to a couple of years ago, you could argue that, or Harry could argue that he walked into an incredible basket case of a club with a ridiculous dressing room that was totally divided and could not rescue them. And then he brought them back up. They weren't brilliant last season, by the way, but he brought them back up. You can't take that away from him. But you would have thought the lessons might have been learned and they wouldn't find themselves in this situation. Plus, they've got a goal scorer in Charlie Austin, who, if you've got somebody scoring...
Might know him well.
A player of the month, if you've got somebody scoring that many goals, then you shouldn't really be in relegation.
Well, it tells you your problems.
At the back.
Defence.
Yeah. Well, he's got the experience. He should have organised a better defence than the one he's got. There should be better personnel, maybe at the football club. Interesting thoughts from Rangers fans. Keep them coming as well as TalkSport.
Drive on TalkSport with Sky Sports. See more of the games that matter this January, including Chelsea versus Manchester City, live only on Sky Sports.
This is Private Neil Patel getting out of a helicopter on an overseas training exercise. He's also doing an IT apprenticeship. This is Private Julia Dean on a live firing exercise. She's also completed an apprenticeship in engineering. With an army apprenticeship, you get paid to be a soldier
07747 or search home care from British Gas. Conditions apply.
The PPI mis-selling saga has been going on for years. If you're concerned that you've left it too late to claim your PPI back, think again. Direct Redress have claimed back millions of pounds for clients that were victims of the PPI scandal, even if you don't have any agreement numbers or original paperwork. To find out more, text the word PPI to 80777. That's PPI to 80777. Direct Redress. Experts in financial claims.
Circle, the cost of flooring all hammered down with 18mm Norwood cable floor on sale for just £6.25 a sheet when you buy 10 or more, and 22mm for only £7.85 each for 10 or more. You've been firmly on the ground with amazing deals on Norwood chipboard flooring, available from over 600 Houston branches nationwide. Visit your local branch and nail down some incredible flooring deals right now. Prices subject to VAT at 20%. Offer ends Feb 14. See Houston.co.uk for quantity. Terms, conditions, and all sizes. The Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast on Talk Sports with the all-new Ford Transit.
Beautiful morning, and if you're still in bed after you get escorted,
It's the fully equipped breakfast show that won't let you down.
oh my God, bang, bang, bang.
The Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast, fully equipped with sporting expertise.
You got some on, did you?
Sure. Every weekday morning from 6 on Talk Sport with the all-new Ford Transit. Name your business, and there's a transit for it.
It's gone coming up next. The Players Lounge tonight is from 7 with Matt Holland, Dean Ashton. They'll hear from the West Ham keeper, the hero from midweek, Adrian. Matchday live tomorrow from 1. I'll be at the Liberty for Swansea, Chelsea, Ray Parlour's at QPR, but reporters up and down the country as well before our national radio commentary of Newcastle against Southampton. It's a good news update, Robert Sherman.
Thank you very much, Adrian. Security measures across the UK are being reassessed following last week's terror attacks in Paris. The protection of Greece and Jewish communities is top of priority for Britain's most senior anti-terrorist officer. David Cameron's having talks with Barack Obama in the US on online security. The Prime Minister's hoping that the President will back his plans to force social media networks to share information and ban encrypted messaging services. And the former Spurs star and talkSport presenter David Ginola has announced his intention to stand for the FIFA presidency. He needs the backing of at least 5 national associations to do so.
Talk Sport, 4 subjects. In transfers, Jermaine Defoe's a Sunderland player on a 3.5-year deal. He can play tomorrow against Spurs. Andre Kramarich's work permits come through for Leicester, so he can play against Stoke. Meanwhile, our colleague Simon Humphreys in Stoke is reporting that Robert Huth could be on his way out of the Potteries to Aston Villa. The football weekend starts now with Preston against Dorrington in League 1. It's Cheltenham against Morecambe in League 2, while in the Scottish Championship, Rangers are at home to Hearts. And there's European Rugby Union this evening, with games in both the European Cup and the Challenge Cup. Don't forget Newcastle against Southampton, live and exclusively here on TalkSport tomorrow evening.
Immerse yourself in a month of colossal games this January on TalkSport.
The pressure is on now.
Tomorrow afternoon from 5, full match commentary of Newcastle versus Southampton. Then Sunday from 1, West Ham versus Hull. With more outstanding commentaries including full coverage of the FA Cup, the League Cup semi-finals and the big one, Chelsea versus Manchester City on January the 31st. Get your football superside.
That's the way to do it.
This January on TalkSport.
Just drive on TalkSport with Sky Sports. Watch all 7 Sky Sports channels anywhere you like on Sky Go on your compatible mobile, tablets or laptop. It's time for this.
God. 83 grand a week. Don't make me laugh. Those are Peterborough deserves it. Puppy cut.
You're a Peterborough supporter. I know you are.
You all right there, mate? Let go!
It's Ed Scott. I've got some breaking headphones. Got a couple I've just added. Lego Movie didn't get any awards last night. Have you seen it?
No.
What?
I've acted in it. We did it on here, didn't we?
Yeah. You haven't seen that? Can't believe
No, it doesn't interest me, the Lego movie. I'm a movie buff, I love movies, you know that. I go and see them on my own, with cap on and popcorn and statues and
Those
everything.
sort of movies, yeah.
I do love going to the film, but Lego never interested me. Same as Frozen. Have you seen Frozen?
It is rubbish.
Well, exactly, it's not for me, I'm not into those sort of films.
Yeah, but Lego Movie it's your sense of humour.
No, it really is.
No. It's your sense of humour. It really is. Very basic.
Yeah.
The deal of the Sorry, mate.
Taken 3 were good.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Don't tell me the plot. But did they find him? Did they kill him? Deal of the century has to be the Sunderland one. Fair play to Sunderland Football Club. Not only did they get Defoe, they get rid of Altidore. Okay, 1 goal in 42, and it cost £6.5 million. Wow, what a deal that was.
1 goal.
1 goal.
And how much did it cost?
£6.5 million.
Well, £6.5 million a goal, that's what they
more headguns. I was reading through some of the papers this morning, basically, and I saw a line at an end of an article about Paddy McNair and Tyler Blackett. They might not be getting new contracts. I don't know what the situation is, but apparently McNair had been offered a contract by Man United and he turned it down. What's he doing?
Is that an headgun?
Yeah, don't you think?
No, I don't think it is.
He's playing for Man United, he's getting game time, he gets offered a contract and says no.
Well, I'll tell you why.
I'm intrigued.
Because this is a player which I like. I'll tell you why. Because he wants to go and play football. He's playing at the moment, but Manchester United are looking at some centre-halves. That's obvious to everyone, but they're looking around for some centre-halves.
Well, they've just been linked with a right back.
They're looking out now. They're looking at a right back. Yeah. He probably realises Jones and Smalling coming back, he's just going to go to be sitting, doing nothing. And he wants to play football, he's still young, and he's going to have an opportunity now. His experience is done at Manchester United, where he might go to a team. It might not be the top team, it could be one of the clubs fighting relegation, but he'll play every week.
Okay, are you buying that? I'm not.
Yeah, I am.
Real Madrid in the head's gone. They're out of the Copa del Rey, the holders, and in going out of the Copa del Rey, they have single-handedly rebuilt Fernando Torres.
So it was great to watch.
He looked magnificent.
Well done, Torres.
I mean, super goals, and he is back. He looked sharp. So Real Madrid have got him far enough. What was the stat I saw? I may be wrong on this. Might have read this wrong. That Fernando Torres has scored 2 against Real Madrid in 1 game, and Ronaldo scored 2 in 7 years or something against Atletico Madrid. There you go. Stephen Finn, did you see him fall over when he was bowling?
Yeah, oh, not good that, did it?
Well, he's had problems with his run-up before.
There's loads of people that have done that though. Yeah. Oh, hang on a minute. Just dropped down, it's gone. That was brilliant. I wish we had that. Right here now. No, he's one of them chairs that goes up and down, isn't that really?
So why are you going down there?
I'm back up.
Just as we're talking about Stephen Finn falling over, you fall over.
That's brilliant. I wish that was on camera, I really do. I love that sort of
chair's gone.
But
that's why you like the Lego movie, it's very basic.
He does run it, legs are all over the shop when you watch Finney run into balls on there. He's left, right, and crossing over at the front, yeah, he's everywhere. And this has been one of the problems, but he's gone back to his old run-up. And he actually didn't have a problem with knocking the bells off. But this was, he actually did land on the side of his back. Yeah. That could have been bad. Did you see how his knee? That's how you do your cartless, by the way. That's the classic example of doing a cartless, and he was lucky to get away with it.
I thought he was lucky as well. Yeah. Coffee, how do you, when you're running up, when you're running generally, how do you land on the side of your foot? He almost landed on his ankle.
Because you remember, the jump, you would jump about 3 meters, 4 meters when you take off, because you're running in at a fair rate of knots, and when you jump to land, you have a long leap. It could be about 3 meters, which mine was.
Okay.
And he's a bit taller than me. I think he's 6'7".
He's massive, eh?
Yeah.
Didn't bowl very, did it? Anyway, Scottish football, Rangers Hearts tonight, and it's amazing. It's a heads-off that is not a top-flight fixture. Rangers against Hearts, 2 of the powerhouse juggernauts of Scottish football, and it's a second-tier league.
Well, they're playing ice hockey. It's still
well, it's still on. I've just checked it. It's still on as we speak. David Ginola has announced he's running for the FIFA presidency. I'm not. Are you having that? Really?
No.
I'm not. No, but let's see how he goes on. Alexis Sanchez, loads of people, gooners apparently, hijacking polls, convincing people Sanchez is better than Sergio Aguero. Only one way to find out. We'll check the poll results. Talksport.com/drive if you haven't voted at the end of the show. So gooners, go and hijack that one. And Harry Redknapp, refreshing from him. We're talking about Sean Wright-Phillips earlier. He's revealed that QPR have had offers for Sean Wright-Phillips. Let's hear what Harry had to say about the mercurial if anonymous, QPR winger.
Listen, I like Sean White-Phillips. He's a good lad. I haven't got a minute's problem with Sean. You know, we've offered him opportunities to go out on loan. People, you have opinions on your players, and some you want, some you. That's what makes the football game go round. And Sean, you know, he's got a great contract here. And as I say, I've offered, you know, we had clubs come in and wanted to loan him, and he's not wanting to go on loan. So he's still here. But in the long term, I think he, you know, I've said to him he needs to move on and play football. You know, I've said that to him now. Whether he says that, I've said that to him many times. He needs to move on and play football. But he's got a great contract here, and it's very difficult when you have a good contract to go and get that sort of money anywhere else. Basically, that's the top and bottom of it.
Yep, Harry's telling it like it is, but when you single out an individual, if you're a manager, then you know you're going to get some flack. And actually, Sean Wright-Phillips did tweet, and he was quite measured in his response, saying he wants to be committed to the QPR cause, but he's not getting a game.
Yeah, I'm not so sure if he was right to actually single out Sean Wright-Phillips, telling me that offers from the clubs. It's not great, is it?
No, not really.
He's telling me he says he likes him in one breath, and then says he wants to send him out on loan in the next. I thought Sean Wright-Phillips would want to go out on loan. Not play football. I'm surprised.
Harry's getting a bit of form for this because he did with Delta out saying he's 2 stone overweight, and now put him back in the side. Now he's not necessarily had a pop at Sean Wright-Phillips, but you can see that, you know, he clearly wanted him out of the football club. So I think it's one of those where, you know, the stories a couple of years ago when Harry got there about the dressing room being bad, the chairman having his pants pulled down, and it's trying to rectify. I mean, it's still trying to rectify some of the wages that they splashed out on players from years ago that have cost the club fortunes and got them relegated.
Well, they've still got players in on big wages who ain't good enough.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. He's still getting in players now because they're desperate to try and stay in. So he's trying to get in experience, and he's not, because they're atrocious away from home. They've got any pace in the side whatsoever.
Well, this is where I have a little bit of sympathy with Harry, because he will be trying to get players out of the football club who are on big money. But even some of the fans, with regards to Sean Wright-Phillips, for example, most of the fans would say, you know, he's not going to do anything for us. He's not going to get in the first team. He's not good enough for us. He hasn't done it. There's no reason to think he will do it. So they would want him out as well. How hard is it to get those players out of a football club when they are earning a lot of money? And he won't be the only one as well. So it's been a job that has taken nearly 2 years, and still players haven't left the football club. Anyway, those are your headstones.
Drive on Talk Sport with Sky Sports. Thierry Henry has joined Jamie Carragher, Gary Neville and Jamie Redknapp as a Sky Sports football expert. The best team in football just got better.
There's something wonderful about walking in winter. Cold, crisp air, first frost underfoot, and my favourite bit, coming back to the warmth of home. With £400 off a new boiler in the British Gas Winter Water sale, you can keep your home cosy all year round. And without fixed price guarantee, the price you quote is the price you'll pay. So to get £400 off a boiler, call 0800 754 754 or visit britishgas.co.uk. Operates 28th of February. Conditions apply.
Get it straight from Selco. It's winter trade. At Selco Builders Warehouse, we've been nailing down our prices so you can always get a massive range of great trade products at great trade prices. For instance, during January, a 6-metre roll of Code 4 6-inch LED flashing is only £39.99.
around the grounds for Great Parlour. Managers join us before the games, catch all the goals as they go in, the red card, everything is great fun. You don't want to miss it. It moves so fast, it's brilliant. Then at 5:30 we head to the North East for live and exclusive national radio commentary of Newcastle, Southampton with Soundmatch Space and Stan Collymore. And Sunday exclusive, 1 o'clock it starts, live and exclusive national radio commentary of West Ham against Hull with Mark Saggers, Soundmatch Space and Stan Collymore. Stan's back this weekend. TalkSport is your live football station. Quick call from Jimmy, a Man United fan. United linked with Seamus Coleman. How you doing, Jimmy?
Hello, lads, you alright?
Yeah,
Well, I just want to pick up coffee on a comment he opened the show with earlier. He made reference to the Everton fans, and the Everton team appeared to be getting the bum deal out of all the dealings between the two clubs. I think, in all honesty, it couldn't be any further from the truth. I think, obviously, we got Wagner. That one speaks for itself.
No, you went the wrong way around, mate. Wrong way around.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you got it wrong way. What I was saying is that Everton seemed to get the players Manchester United no longer want. What I meant by that was Phil Neville. Yeah?
It was for the club. It was fantastic for the club. Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I meant. Now, Manchester United do all right. I think the only one who is yet to lighten Manchester United up is... But, I mean, if you got Coleman, what we were saying, so I think you just got that mixed up, Jimmy.
Yeah, well, yeah, Coleman, it seems like a good deal again. Even if we do pay a little bit too much for him, line the pockets for Everton and continue supporting them, I think, yeah, it could be a new feeder club for us.
So you say you would take Seamus Coleman, would you take Ross Barkley as well?
I think Barkley could be interesting, but in all honesty, I don't think there's really a place for him in the team at the moment. The attacking presence that he would bring to this club, I think we're already well covered with that. We need to really be focusing on the back a little bit more and potentially working with what we've got. I think Coleman would be a great move. I think Raphael's had far too many chances now. He's just not cut out for it at the club, unfortunately. So we do need to look at that. And I think he should bring a bit of stability. He's probably got as much experience as the rest of the back fours that we're putting out already this season. So yeah, I think it'd be a fantastic move for us. Really would.
But if you had a choice, though, Jimmy, we were talking earlier. Somebody mentioned Klein from Southampton. Which one would you rather have, Coleman or Klein?
I'd probably have Coleman, if I'm honest. I think he's just got a bit more of that style of football that is probably going to, coming from Everton, they're a club that dig in and then get stuck in, and that's really what we need. I think far too many times we've got people at the moment who are just not putting a shift in properly at the back. With the exception of Phil Jones when he's fit, but the rest of the guys just aren't getting stuck in. So I think that's a side of the game that Coleman will bring, which would probably be more beneficial to the club at the moment than what Klein would bring from Southampton.
Interesting, Jimmy. Thanks for the call. Keep them coming. It's time for this. Loads of other stories around today, so let's cover a few of them. A couple of questions each, 30 seconds to answer. First one, please, Coffee.
I'm looking forward to this one. Who is Andrei Kramnik?
Well, he's the new Leicester City striker, 23 years old, and he can play for them against Stoke tomorrow. Croatia international, scored plenty in the last season and a half, 37 in 42 in the Croatian league. He can finish, I've seen a bit of him, good close control, knows how to win a penalty as well. He's mobile without having electric pace, happy playing on his own, and playing at 2. He gets into good positions, makes space for himself, which I really like. Nigel Pearson's been after him for 2 years apparently. He's finally got his man. He's got the attributes. Will he settle into Premier League football quickly enough to hit the ground running?
The programme is retro and so is the food.
What has Rory McIlroy done?
Well, the second round in Abu Dhabi, he enjoys going to Dubai to record his first professional all-in-one. And he's only 2 shots off the lead, which is, well, you would say probably even better. He hit a 9-iron at the 177-yard 15, finished it right next to the hole, and it just put straight in. It wasn't the first stuff in one this week. There was one in America, and there's actually been another couple in this tournament. Tom Lewis on the 7th, and Miguel Angel Jimenez on the 15th also. So some quality golf all the way through the tournament.
Testing, thank you.
You know what, that backs up, we'll get into this later, but it does back up everything I've ever said about a hole-in-one being a bad shit.
Don't even start.
No, it's true.
Why is it unfair to just Paul Lambert on tomorrow's game?
Well, there's going to be a protest, Villa against Liverpool, and the fans aren't happy. Totally understand why the fans aren't happy, by the way. But I think it's unfair because of this. Ron Blas out, Senderos is out, Clark is suspended. They've only got 2 fit centre-halves at the club, that's why they've been linked with a loan move to Stokes Robert Huth. And one of those centre-halves is Nathan Baker, who's back after a couple of months out, so he's getting paired up with a Corey. I think never been paired up regularly, those two, so that's a bit shaky to start with. The new player who's come in, the attacking midfielder Carlos Seguil, he's going to be on the bench possibly. I want this replay, please. Needs time to sell. What is happening ahead of the Australian Open?
Well, the interesting thing about this Australian Open is that I've always introduced the first Open of the year. There's some quality matches in the early round in this year's, because the draw was only done a couple of days ago, and last year's winner, Warinka, starts against Marcel Ilan, and he's got a favourable draw in it, by the way. 4-time Aussie champ Federer plays Yan Asun-Lu. Have I got that right? But Federer hasn't won in Melbourne since 2010, and he's on the same side of the draw as Murray and Nadal, which is never going to be this. So he could meet Murray in the quarterfinal and Nadal in the semi.
Drive on Talk Sport with Sky Sports. Thierry Henry has joined Jamie Carragher, Gary Neville and Jamie Redknapp as a Sky Sports football expert. The best team in football just got better.
Get money back 3 bets this season with active insurance from William Hill. Have a 16 or more accumulator, and if one team lets you down, get your money back as a free bet. Includes every team in every league at any price. Available online or on mobile. Download the app in the App Store or on Android. William Hill, the home of betting. Available to new and existing customers. Money back is a free bet up to £50 and non-withdrawable. 90-minute accumulator bets only. Excludes in-play and Northern Ireland. Terms apply. Enjoy gambling responsibly. Want a London pad from just £175,000?
Want to be just 20 minutes by train from London Paddington and 12 from Heathrow?
Want to pay just £2,000 on your card to exchange?
Don't want to pay your stamp duty and want a free furniture pack?
Come to the Galleon Home sales launch at Trident House Station Road, Hay, on the 29th, 30th and 31st of January.
Call Galleon on 0203 770 6321. That's 0203 770 6321. Or visit galleonhomes.com.
Galleon, getting Londoners on the ladder.
The Westway Nissan sale is on now, and it's the best way to save up to £4,000 against new or nearly new Nissan. We have a massive choice of quality used cars, and selected cars are available with representative 0% APR finance, subject to status. So hurry down to Westway's new dealerships in Hanwell and Mill Hill for the pick of the sale bargain.
Oh, it's just a small job. A little extra cash in hand, you know. I mean, I wouldn't call myself a tax evader as such. I mean, everyone does it, don't they? It's just like doing 80 on the motorway.
HMRC is closing in on tax dodgers. If you've declared all your income, you have nothing to worry about. If you haven't, go to gov.uk/sortmytax.
What did you wish for now? Daddy said he would build me a tree house. If I wish for the McRib to come back.
Dave, do we have to do this every year?
Well, Dave, wishes do come true. The McRib is back. An irresistible combo of onions, gherkins and pork from British Freedom Food Approved Farms with a sweet and tangy barbecue sauce for 5 weeks only. Served after 10:30 a.m. Subject to availability until February 3rd.
Find out who's in, who's out, and who's getting present the scout. The January transfer window on Talk Sport.
talksport.com/drive. Got a couple of videos. By the way, this music, you try and work out what it was. A couple of videos, you can check out the highlights. Madrid 2, Atletico Madrid 2 in the Copa del Rey last night. Atletico made it through the books on aggregate. Fernando Torres got a couple of goals, good ones as well. He played well. You can also watch a brilliant goal from a Juventus youngster taking the club by storm, Kingsley Coman. Brilliant goal actually. And have a look at TalkSport's exclusive video of Amir Khan doing his best to goad Floyd Mayweather Jr. into a fight in Vegas.
I've seen that.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Got 3 polls for you. Do you want to vote on these?
Yeah, let's do it.
Here we go. Ahead of the South American duo facing off at the Etihad this Sunday, we want to know who's the better player, Sergio Aguero or Alexis Sanchez?
Aguero.
Yeah. Can we talk about this after 6?
Yes, please.
Because I do find it the most...
It's a difficult one, but I'd have to go Aguero. The only issue regarding Aguero is the fitness, but we'll talk about it after 6.
It's a really difficult one, though. Following the news that Jermaine Defoe has completed his move to Sunderland and he can play against Spurs tomorrow, should Defoe celebrate if he scores against Spurs?
No.
Oh, shut up. Yeah.
No.
The striker scoring a goal on his debut for his new club, and you're saying don't celebrate?
No, I won't be comfortable that one. He's been there twice. He's been training with them, let him train with them, by the way, the last few weeks. I would be uncomfortable with that one, eh?
Right, okay. Basketball was in London, the O2 last night, as an NBA game, so we want to know, is basketball entertaining?
Yes, 100%.
Well, you've been a basketball, I've been a basketball.
Yeah.
But what's entertaining about it is all the stuff around it, rather than the actual sport. I enjoy it.
Our age probably spoils it, but my youngest boy loves basketball.
What does he love about it?
Loves it. Just loves watching it. It's an American basketball he watches, so he watches it on TV it's on late at night, isn't it? During the holidays he tends to watch it.
It's great when they chuck it from one end of the court to the other and it goes in.
No, he loves basketball.
Okay, is it entertaining? Well, you have the vote and we'll reveal the answers in around about an hour's time here on TalkSport. So let's have that debate. Actually, I'm going to do it's a first for me on the show. It's so meaningless.
I was going to say you were wrong.
I'm going to walk out. It's so meaningless and such a ridiculous non-debate with such a... I'll explain all the reasons why. I'm just not going to bother. I'm just going to listen to you lot talking nonsense when we have this non-debate, Sanchez or Aguero. Absolutely unbelievable. 08717 223344 to get the news better.
Thanks, Adrian. Good evening. The White Britain have agreed to work together to beat cybercrime. David Cameron is in Washington, where he's been meeting President Obama. They've confirmed plans to conduct cybersecurity war games and set up a joint cyber cell which will share intelligence about hackers. Police patrols are being stepped up here in the UK in areas with a large Jewish population. Britain's most senior anti-terror officer has announced a review of protection following last week's attacks in Paris. Measures to enhance the security of police officers will be considered as well, but Assistant Commissioner Mark Rowley from the Met says the threat level hasn't altered.
What's changing all the time is our assessment of the detail of that threat, the determination of terrorists, and the way they want to do us harm.
David Ginola has told TalkSport he really does want to be the next FIFA president. The former Spurs star has officially launched Team Ginola, a campaign designed to get him the backing he needs to join the election race in May. Speaking to Hawksby and Jacobs earlier, the Frenchman said the organisation needs a shake-up.
Why always the same kind of people at the same place all the time? Why not a former player? Adding a little bit of fresh, clear mind, new ideas.
Finally, West Ham shirt sponsor Alpari has shut down its UK division. It follows Switzerland's decision to unpeg its currency from the euro. The Hammers board have released a statement just now, reassuring supporters that there will be no impact on the club.
TalkSport weather with ATS Euromaster. Car battery playing up. Get a free inspection today. Call 0800 60 1060.
Sleet and snow showers across high ground across Scotland. A clear, cold night elsewhere. Icy, lows of around -2.
TalkSport Sports Update.
Jose Mourinho